Hi guys, it's Alice with Vintage Gal 18. Welcome to day 11 of 14 Days of Christmas on snldesign.net. And what I'll be doing today is mason jar gifts and altering them. I've been doing several of them because I'm going to be giving mason jars as gifts for my family and some friends. And there are different styles. I'm going to show you how to do the sewing kit style. And I'm not quite finished with it. This is just a little design so far that I've done. But we're going to do the pincushion, and I'm going to show you how to do that part, of course. And then the other style is just a simple altered jar. And of course I didn't add the pincushion on top. I just kept it as is like that, and then of course you can fill it up with whatever goodies you're gonna decide to give as gifts. So let's get started. I'll be telling you the supplies as we go, and I'll also leave them down in the info box. So one thing that I have is vintage fabric. You don't have to use of course vintage fabric. That's what I have at hand, and I have scraps. This actually came from a vintage slip that I purchased at the thrift shop, and this is just vintage lace that I have. So we're going to be using this, some batting, anything you have, of course. You don't have to go buy expensive batting. Check at your thrift store, or like this. I found this snow cover for $1 at my thrift store, and it was brand new. So that I lucked out with that. So you're going to need a little bit of that. Of course, your mason jar, your fabric. I'm going to be using for the adhesive my hot glue gun, but you can use any adhesive you like. And let's get started. So what I'm going to do is my lid, of course, the mason jar lids, they pop out like that. So I'm going to get this flat part right there, and I am going to kind of measure that for the little pincushion on top, which is going to be the poofy top. And I'm gonna put my fabric. Don't worry about the fabric being ironed, because this one's going to be it's not going to show. The lace is actually what's going to be showing. That's just to cover up the batting. Of course, if you're using anything else, you don't need to double this. I'm doubling it because I want the lace to show. But like this is just a single layer of fabric that I put there. And so just tuck in that batting in. And what I used a small little plate, or a little bowl, I think, to get this shape, but it's just a circular shape. You just want it to be like 2 inches larger on the side, because you're going to tuck that down like this. And so that's how that's going to work out. So that's why I cut it a little bit larger than, of course, the lid itself. And so right here, let me make sure my glue's ready. You're going to get your glue gun, and you're going to put some glue there. And you're just going to kind of tuck this a little bit and pull on it a little bit and just push down. If this gets too hot to push on, I've been using also the back side of my pencil just to push and kind of tug at it. And the same on this side, kind of push in, add some glue, and tug right on that. You're going to have some excess fabric, and we're going to cut that off because we don't want it to get too bulky. So when we attempt to put that, it won't be too much, and then it's not going to close. And so I'm going to continue doing this, and then I'll come back. Okay, so right when you get to this point right here, all you're going to do is get your scissors and start cutting that excess off right there. You just don't want it to become too bulky. Okay, and then you'll see these little peaks right here. You're not going to see those when you slip that on right there, so don't worry about that. Okay, so right here what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my lace and I'm going to put that on top. It's this right here. Whenever you see that opening, you can just add some more glue. And then I'll cut the rest in a minute. So all I'm going to do is again do the same thing, put the lace right where I want that, and then I'm just going to put glue and then just start putting that all around and then cutting the excess off. Okay, so right here the glue is very hot and of course the lace is very thin, so all you do is get your pencil and just start like a sweeping motion and just start pulling on that just so you don't burn yourself. And again, just put the glue here and then just bring it down and just do the sweeping motion. Okay, so right here it's pretty much done, but I don't want to see that you know, when the lid's going to be like this and they open it, I don't want that to be seen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a another piece of fabric right there, and all I'm going to do is measure the lid, place that down, and just cut around it. It doesn't have to be perfect because you can fix it up right now when you start gluing it down. And so that's more or less. So right here I'm just going to glue that. See how it looks a little bit better. And I'm just going to put glue down and put that down and just use my pencil so I don't burn myself. And just kind of tug at it. And then right there, what I'm going to do, see how there's excess right there? I'm just going to cut that off. Let me let it dry first and then I'll cut that. Okay, so that's pretty much done and set already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some glue right on the very edge of the bottom right here. And be very careful because once you put glue on the metal does start, oh, see, that's hot. It starts getting hot. So I'm placing that down, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to push that in very slowly. Like I said, the metal gets very hot, so please be careful. And I'm just pushing that down. And I'm going to let that set for a little bit. Okay, so it's pretty much done. And of course you want to make sure that you push it all the way down because you don't want the fabric to be in the way of you closing the lid on the jar. And you just push down a bit on it and it should close nicely. Okay, so that part of that is done, which is the needle part, and let me just, the pins, I'm sorry. See, so you just set the pins there. And so that's cute, I like that. So this could be like a sewing kit gift, and you can add like needles and thread and stuff like that, but I'm not finished with the jar itself. I want to add some more. So let me get other fabric that I'm going to use to finish this off. Okay, so I'm liking the lace kind of thing. I'm going to continue with it, and I found this little scrap piece that I had, so I'm going to place that on there, but I'm not sure how the hot glue is going to look on there. So I'm going to put a little bit there, and I guess a little bit down at the bottom. Let me just start off like that and see how that looks, because I'm afraid that it's going to show and it's not going to look nice. So push that down. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to hide the top right there. I'm not liking the way it looks. Maybe if I don't add too much glue, maybe Mod Podge will work better. I'm gonna add some glue to the top part. Because I think on the top I'm gonna add another piece of fabric, or maybe even a trim, just to hide the glue on the top. Okay, so let me continue adding glue on the very top only. Okay, so I finished off right there. I'm going to cut this off in a little bit. I'm just not going to cut it just yet, so I know exactly where to cut it once I put my trim. But I found this trim and I really like it. Actually, these I started just putting them on. I actually got those from from my Secret Santa, and thank you, Sue. It's Making Memories. And it came in this collection, and there's several of these teardrop crystals, and I'm just going to add them to this trim. And this trim has a little bit of, I guess, the eyelets, the holes right there, so that's where I'm going to add that. So I'm just going to get my pliers and see. I'm going to open that up. And I'm just going to place them on there. To add some bling to that. And so I'm going to continue adding that throughout the entire lace. Okay, so I'm going to start gluing the trim right where the fabric meets right there, just so I could make sure that this trim is going to meet as well. So I'm going to set that there, and it's kind of, I put too much hot glue right there. So try not to add too much. And add some more right there. And at the same time, I want the other fabric to kind of touch with it as well, with the hot glue, just so I know that it's adhering to the jar as well. So I'm going to continue doing this all around. I'm going to just move this up a little bit, and then just add some glue little by little, and then just continue bringing this down. So I'll continue doing that. Okay, so right there, it actually met perfectly right there, right before that bead ended, or the trim ended with the bead at the end. And so I'm just going to cut that off, and then I'm not sure whether to cut it here. Yeah. And I'm going to cut it right there, and this part, I think, let me see what I'm going to do with this. Hold on. Okay, so right here, I think I'm just going to add very, very little glue. I don't want it to show too much, but I want it to be sealed right there and look nice. So I'm just going to use the back of my pencil. That one doesn't show that much. Okay, that I think that turned out really nice. There's the little dangles here. Oh, that's pretty. I think that one's finished. Let me just close that up. I think I added too much fabric to this one, but it's kind of difficult a little bit to close. Let me see if I could snip some of this off. Okay, so there's that lovely pincushion. It did close. I did have to trim a little bit off of that inner part, but it's fine. It looks good. It looks really nice. So that one's finished, and of course all it needs is to be filled up. And now what I'm going to do is show you pretty much how to do this this style, which is without the pincushion. So let me get that going. Okay, so I'm going to continue using lace because I think that looks just so pretty. And all I'm going to do again is I'm going to leave that part right on the lace and cut around it. And I'm going to just adhere it. Of course, I don't need the batting because this is not going to be a cushion. And right there looks nice. And all I'm going to do is get the glue and do the same thing. And of course, use your back of your pencil or whatever tool you want to make sure you don't burn yourself. So I'm going to continue doing that here. Okay, so that's pretty much done. I want to show you a different way of finishing that off. I'm not going to put fabric on this one. I want to put a flower and some other little stuff, but I'll show you in a minute as soon as I glue this together. So what again, all you're going to do is put glue in the rim and just bring that down. Okay, so all I did was get like a flower, very thin little paper-like flower, and I'm going to put that right there in the middle. And then I chose a button, and I'm going to center that as well. And that finishes the jar right there. It adds another little detail on that. So let me let that set for a little bit. Okay, so for the center of the bottom part of this lid, I'm going to get this trim, and this is mini rose trim. And I got this, I think these were on sale. They usually go on sale at Hobby Lobby for 50% off. And it's just this little rose, and it's kind of like an off-white. And all I'm going to do is center that using my hot glue again. And I'm just going to get that. Oh, wrong way. No, no, no. Okay, I'll cut that one off. And I'm just going to place that there. And I'm going to continue gluing that down throughout all around. Let me continue doing that. Okay, so I've reached the end of this, and all I'm going to do is snip it right there. And I'll probably put something there, I'm not sure, just to kind of hide that meeting area. Let me see what else I'm going to put on here. Okay, so I'm kind of liking the way the stickles looks on there. And so all I'm doing is I'm brushing this fabric flower with that. And that looks really pretty. And that's what I did to this flower in the inside too. I added some of the Stardust stickles, and that looks really pretty. So let me continue adding that. Okay guys, so I'm pretty much done with these mason jars. I really like the way they came out, and I hope this inspires you to create some of your own jars and give some gifts out, whether it's a sewing kit or I don't know, just a jar full of buttons, but with a pretty little jar. I think these really came out good. So thanks y'all for joining me. Bye.